Rusty is one of the hardest working engines on the island of Sodor. The little diesel helps with track maintenance, odd jobs, and even rescues whenever the other engines need help. Rusty works harder than any other narrow gauge engine, so Mr. Percival decided he needed another diesel to help take the weight off Rusty's buffers. What he got instead was Fred. Fred is a small, squat diesel with an air whistle instead of a horn. Now Fred isn't a rude diesel. Far from it. He always greets another engine with a friendly smile. But he was very lazy. He usually did his work, or at least the bare minimum of it. But he mostly tried to avoid his work by pretending to be ill.
Oh, I wish I could help today. I think I took some bad fuel.
And Fred knew every excuse in the book.
My radiator feels loose. My driver got a splinter. Don't want to make it worse, you know?
Unfortunately for Fred, he was usually found out and sent to work whether he liked it or not. But now and then, there wasn't time to properly examine him, so someone else, usually Rusty, had to do his work, while Fred got some well-deserved rest. The other engines hated seeing Fred laze about while they were kept busy.
Bah! Just look at him! I work my wheels 2 bits just so that layabout gets a wee snooze in the sun. Isn't it fair?
I feel your pain. We've got our own lazy diesel, Dennis. He's probably even worse than Fred. Fortunately, Thomas found a way to help motivate Dennis.
Run for your life! Someone says there's a diesel-eating monster behind me!
He keeps falling for it every time! What an idiot! Unfortunately for Duncan, Fred wasn't as easy to trick as Dennis, and delighted in getting out of work. Early one morning, it was Fred's turn to take the weed killer along the line, which of course meant Rusty had to take it, since Fred was ill.
So he says.
At last, Sir Handel lost patience.
Why do you keep doing Fred's jobs, Rusty? You don't even like the weed killer trade.
If Fred doesn't do it, and I don't do it, he'll never be done, Sir Handel.
So let Fred get in trouble then. It serves him right for being a waste of oil.
Sir Handel, that's a horrible thing to say.
It's the truth, Skarloey. Fred was supposed to help with the extra work, not stick Rusty with twice as much just so he can play hooky.
Funny to hear you say that, Sir Handel, considering what happens when you fix being ill.
I learned my lesson, didn't I? Also, say what you want, but at least I do my work. Fred can't be bothered to do anything at all.
With that, Sir Handel went off in a huff.
I hate to say it, but he has a point, Rusty. Fred was supposed to help you, and now you're doing the work of 2 engines. It's not fair for you.
I don't mind extra work, Skarloey. I care about our line and want to do my bit. I just wish Fred cared too, especially after helping me.
As Rusty and Skarloey set off to work, what neither engine realized was that Fred was nearby, and he heard every word. When Fred was by himself, he thought about what he heard about Rusty thinking he didn't care, about him not doing his fair share, but most of all,
A waste of oil. Me? I'll show that blue windbag. I'll show them all.
Fred's driver was surprised to hear Fred say he wanted to go out today, but the littler diesel was determined to prove his worth. As Fred trundled down the line, he wondered how he could show he wasn't useless.
Wait, that's it. They don't think I can help anyone. So if I can find someone to help, got to show them I'm worth something.
Soon Fred found his way to Bertram's mine. Peter Sam was there collecting visitors.
Hey, Petey. How about I land a buffet?
No thank you, Fred. I'm doing just fine today. Besides, wouldn't want you to pull your motor again.
I only used that excuse once, maybe twice.
Next, Fred tried asking Luke at the quarry.
Hey, Luke. Oh, buddy. Need some help with those trucks?
Thanks for asking, Fred, but we're fine. We're actually ahead of schedule. Wait, didn't you say you were allergic to slate anyway?
Right. I've used that one a few times too.
Finally, Fred found Mighty Mac at the transfer yards, picking up campers.
Hey, there's my favorite duo. Need a little help there?
Oh? Thank you, Fred. We could use some directions to the...
Directions? Nonsense! We don't need any help, Mac. I have a natural sense of direction.
Yeah! Of a goldfish! Remember when we got lost at the...
Shh! We both agreed we never discuss that day again.
Well, it was your fault we ended up on that chicken farm!
You're the one who said, let's ask the horse for directions.
That horse was better company than you were!
You only say that because you look like a horse.
Oh! Can someone please cut us in half already so I won't have to be stuck with him for the rest of my life?
Fred decided he shouldn't try to help Mighty Mac after all. It was already late in the afternoon, and no one needed Fred's help.
I don't get it. They always need me when I don't feel like working. Now I wanna work, and nobody needs me. Maybe I am a waste of oil.
No, you're not, Fred. But you have to admit, you've used so many excuses to get out of work. How is anyone supposed to believe you when you want to help out? Fred didn't answer. He just slowly and somberly made his way to the depot. But as Fred reached the top station, he was shocked at what was waiting for him. There at the platform was Sir Handel with a line of coaches. He looked out of breath and very miserable.
Bad news, old boy. Your tubes are clogged. We can't go any further now.
Well, that's just great. And here I thought today was going so nicely, too.
Now Fred was in quite a predicament. Sure, Sir Handel had hurt his feelings, but on the other hand, he had a long train of coaches. Coaches probably full of people who needed to get home. If Sir Handel couldn't bring those people home, they would be cross, and the railway would be in big trouble. Suddenly, Fred knew what he had to do.
Wait, what the? Fred? What are you doing?
Oh, don't you worry, Handy. I'll get you and the passengers home.
Passengers? Handy? What are you talking about, Pipsqueak? There aren't any drugs.
But Sir Handel didn't get to finish before he knew what hit him. Fred was hauling him and his train out of the station all by himself. Fred was working harder than he ever had before. He towed Sir Handel over bridges, around steep mountainsides, and even past campgrounds. The strange train caught the attention of a few passers-by.
Huh? Who's up there?
They didn't expect to see Fred out and about like this, and they waved at him.
Is that Fred? Hello, Fred!
Fred didn't expect this much attention. He couldn't help but smile. Sir Handel did not smile. He grumbled as he was dragged along the line by Fred, thinking about what he'd say when they finally stopped.
I can't believe we're breaking down. I got a friggin'
The strange cavalcade didn't stop until it reached Crovan's gate. Rusty, Duncan, and Percy were idling in the station. They were surprised to see Fred pulling in with a train. At long last, they had ground to a halt. Fred's motor wheezed in exhaustion, but he felt very pleased for making it this far.
Fred, did you haul Sir Handel all the way here?
Sure did, Dunks. How's about moving over, huh? And these bastards need to be dropped off.
Okay, first of all, stop calling me Handy. Second, what passengers? My coaches are empty!
Empty?
Yeah, empty. Like your fuse box. I was bringing these coaches back to the depot before I broke down.
But and the coaches, you mean, I pulled you all the way here for no reason.
Yep. Hope you didn't strain yourself there, Hercules.
Heh, he probably did carrying your dead weight all day.
Yeah, hey!
Nah, he made excellent time. Either Fred's much stronger, or Sir Handle's as light as a feather.
Duncan and Percy laughed and laughed, while Sir Handel turned bright red with shame.
Oh, even when I'm right, I cannot win.
Fred was even more embarrassed. He tried so hard to show that he was really useful, but instead just showed that he was very silly indeed. Worst of all, he did so in front of Rusty. Without another word, the littler Diesel somberly hauled the train to the works, wishing he could just disappear. That evening, Sir Handel's tubes were cleared out, and he was happy to go back to work the next day. Sort of.
It's about time.
You're welcome, my friend.
Fred wasn't happy at all. He was in disgrace. He wanted to be left alone for the night, but he wouldn't be for long.
Evening, Fred. How are you?
Embarrassed. Tired. Like a waste of oil. Thanks for asking.
Really? Because I think you should feel pretty proud, empty or not. Hauling an entire train and a broken down engine all by yourself isn't easy.
You think so?
I know so, and you didn't need anyone to tell you to do it. You did it because you really do care. You showed how useful you can be today, Fred.
Hey, yeah, I did do that, didn't I? It felt kinda nice to do some work without being told to. But, proving that you're the best really makes engines giant.
Rusty just laughed as Fred closed his eyes for an actual well-deserved rest. Fred can still be a lazy engine who prefers to sleep than work, but he understands the importance of doing your share and is much more helpful when he needs to be. He even takes some of Rusty's jobs when the other little diesel needs a break. He's become a much appreciated sight on the railway, and everyone is happiest of all when they hear that Fred is running well.